Good day, YouTube. It is the 18th of December, 2024, and you're probably seeing this at least, January, February 25. If you're watching the video as kind of soon as it comes out, because we do film a couple months in advance. I am a serious collector of hurricane lamps, lanterns, early non-electric lighting, even some early electric lighting. And I don't know, it just fascinates me. A lot of the lamps we have are very ornate, very, very cool. And some of them are, kind of just plain. This is about as plain as it gets. But, this is a 100-year-old piece of glass here. And we were kind of rearranging here over the last month or so in our house where our collection is. We've kind of enhanced things, and we have hundreds of them. I ain't kidding you. We have many, but we have a couple of them that didn't have a fitter here to screw a burner onto. So I measured this and ordered one, the closest one I could find, and well, it doesn't fit. And this is just thin brass. It will not go on. It's tapered a little bit, so it actually gets smaller as it goes on. But this is pretty square here, and it just won't go. So my options are you can kind of cut this, but these parts kind of add up. This isn't horrible money, but they're not cheap either, so I didn't want to just ruin it. How can I make something that would allow this to fit on this lamp? And let's go back here a second. Let me show you something. Tucked back here in Tool Central, I have little stairs here. I have all my tool stuff on carts and shove them in here. But it's not a horrible place to work if I make a little room in here. But I have this, it's a 3-in-1 lathe and a mill and a precision drill press. And I've had it for a number of years, maybe 7 or 8 years. And I got it from a gunsmith that bought this and realized he just didn't have the use for it that he thought he had. In fact, he said that the mill part of it was broken. It didn't work. So I bought it. I had to disassemble this thing. It's unbelievably heavy. I had to take it apart as much as possible so that we could even lift it into my car. Anyway, we got it in there. We got it back here. We got it put back together again. And I've had all kinds of ideas about using it as well. I have fiddled with it a little bit. I've made maybe 1 or 2 things on it that I needed to make that I could use, and fiddle with it, prototyping some things for work and so forth. But I'm not a machinist. I watch machinists on YouTube, and I am fascinated by it. Some of my favorite YouTubers are like Keith Rucker and Cutting Edge Engineering and such. Those are YouTube channels that I watch on a weekly basis. So I love machining, but I've never really had much time with this. So, in fact, I picked up this chuck for my tailstock at Harbor Freight just a few days ago, anticipating boring out the center of something. So I want a project that I can use my lathe on, and this is going to be that project. So constructive criticism, welcome, but don't beat me up over this, because I took machine shop in high school, but that's been 45 years ago. But it's just about measuring things and cutting things, right? So this is a horribly scaled little sketch, but I did figure up all of my dimensions. So the dimension of this is 1.75 inches. The outside dimension of this reducer, if you will, doesn't need to be anything particular on the bottom half. On the upper half, 1.67 is the inside diameter of this. Now this is tapered a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy and try to make a taper, but I'll just cut the whole thing at 1.67. Probably just use something on the order of JB Weld or maybe even silicone to adhere this to that adapter, which will end up here, and that'll be fine. And same with the glass. Probably use silicone. We don't like these lamps. They are a collection, so I would like something that I could take back apart should we ever find the correct collar for this, fitter, collar, whatever you want to call it. So I picked up this big old chunk of aluminum at our salvage yard yesterday. I paid $9 for this solid piece of aluminum. I think it's 2.5 inches. How come you didn't go on? You did. Yeah, 2.5 inches. So we'd have, well, almost 8/10 of an inch to come off the outside, and we've got to bore the thing out. So we're going to make a lot of chips, but overall, this thing's only going to be a little over an inch long. We can make this centerpiece as long as we want. I mean, within reason. I don't want to go crazy with it, but I don't think we need to. So if we keep it short, we will. And I'm going to learn a lot with this first turning. So if you're a beginner with the lathe, awesome. You and me both, bud. If you are an expert with a lathe, yeah, this might not be your video. You might just poke your finger at the screen and laugh at me and all this stuff, because we're going to kind of fumble our way through this, but I believe we will be successful. They did have chunks of solid brass at the salvage yard too, but man, that was going to be like $24 for a chunk that would get the job done. And I've got a couple other things I want to make out of this piece. I want to make some big washers for a golf cart. Here, I'll show you. Maybe I'll include it all in the same video. This Yamaha cart, the bolts came through the back plastic piece here, so you can see this hole here. Same over here. So I thought I would make like a washer with a shoulder that would cover this and bolt all the way down to the steel mount and still hold this down. So you kind of see what I'm looking at there. So I thought I'd make a couple big fat washers, which is why I got the piece as big as I could. They had some slightly smaller that would have probably done the job, but we're starting off with this. I mean, we wanted our first machining project. We just will have something to machine off of there, and we do definitely have that. So let me get this set up in the lathe and start getting some things kind of laid out. I'll bring you back from time to time. This is going to take me a while, being a beginner and all. We're going to have some fun with it, and maybe you'd like to gather you up a project for a mill you've got, or maybe you're looking to get a little mill. And we'll show you the good and the bad about this little mill that I have along the way. So here we go. While we were still talking about the lathe, I did want to finish. I told you that when I got it, the guy said that the mill didn't work. And when I got it home, sure enough, you pushed the button and nothing moved. But it had just sat for so long that the grease was just dried up, so it couldn't get started. So I cleaned up everything that I could get to and kind of re-lubed the thing. And it not only runs, it actually sounds like decent quality. So it has a separate motor for the mill and a separate motor for the lathe. And it has adjustable belts for speed control on the mill and adjustable belts for the speed for your speed control on the lathe. It does not have auto feed or threading. Okay, so it's a completely manual machine. So like the internet says, this is one of those rigs that'll get you started. And if you don't like it, somebody else will buy this off you. If you do like it, you're likely to get a way better mill and lathe, maybe separate machines somewhere down the road. So if you start machining some stuff for real on this thing, you're probably looking for something better. So, but to get you started, to get me started, this is what I chose. There's one of these on eBay. A guy wants $1,000 for it. I can't believe they ever cost that much, but you know, things have gone up. But I don't remember what I paid for it. $400 or $500, I guess, is probably what I did. Anyway, let me get this set up and we'll get back to business. I did have to run to Harbor Freight and get this magnetic stand. I had a few dial indicators, and this is the only one that seemed to work real good. And I pick stuff up like this at yard sales. I've never used this. It's actually been sitting on the shelf for years. I don't see a brand on it. However, there's a calibration tag on it. This thing was calibrated in 21. It's due for calibration a year after that in 22. Hell, it's been sitting on my shelf since 21. It was a freshly calibrated machine here. So I don't know if this is good quality or Harbor Freight quality or whatever, but somebody paid to calibrate it. So it must have been worth that. I don't think you'd send a $20, $30 dial indicator in for calibration. Anyway, regardless, it works well. It's smooth as heck. And yeah. And this stand from Harbor Freight, once you get to figuring it out, it's not bad. It was like $12 or something. It'll work fine. So I just stuck it on the ways there, and we dialed that thing in pretty good. I did start to put a center in it, and I thought maybe we'd video this a little bit. Can I do this left-handed? Yeah. So anyway, I don't have a live center, you know, with a bearing and all, but I have a dead center. That's all I got so far for this machine. So I guess that's what we'll use. We'll start turning the outside of this down and kind of go from there. Yeah, I had to change the chucks. So this thing came with two sets of chucks, but the ones that were in it wouldn't hold this larger diameter. So, but they're capable of larger diameter than this. So with two sets of chucks, I guess it has a pretty good range. So looking good. All right, here we go. All right, I got you in a stand. So had to do some tweaking and so forth, but we got the center hole drilled. I got the dead center in because I don't have a live center. I measured up 1.5 inches and scored a line here. Had to kind of rework some things because this is quite a piece, big piece for my little table thing. So there was an adjustment screw in the slide that I had to take out. It wasn't an adjustment, it was a locking screw. I imagine when you're using the mill, you need to lock it. But it stuck out and it kept the tailstock from getting close enough. So I'm kind of at the limit. I got like 3/8 to 1/2 inch of space between here and my tailstock, and it's all the way out. So, but we made it. So I've got the cutter in. This is brand new stuff I just got on Amazon, like a set, and we're ready to start cutting a little bit. So we're going to take this down to the widest measurement, which I suppose I could get a little over 2 inches. So at 2 1/4, we'll revisit this. At 2 1/4 inches diameter, we'll revisit this. 1 3/4 is what I need inside. So 2 inch will only give me an 1/8 inch all the way around, which is probably enough. I'd like a little more. So we'll get it down to 2 1/4. Okay. So remember, I don't have any automatic feeds or nothing. This is a manual deal. And It's a first timer for me, so here we go. Okay, I'm going to turn on this for a while, then I'll bring you back. Let's see where we are real quick though. I can sneak in here. So we are at the 2.28 inches. So 2.28. Okay. I'm going to do some thinking about where I want that to be, which I should have done before we started. But we're going to go to 2.25, or a little less probably. We're getting close. Okay, I do have to run. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll finish this. All right, boys and girls, it is the next day, and we're going to finish this piece up. So the surface finish is poor. It's not very good at all. I was taking big, heavy cuts, but it is aluminum. So we'll see if we can improve that by taking lesser cuts. So we're at 2.276. And I want to set a target and see if we can hit it. I mean, that's the challenge, right? So let's go to 2.10. That will leave point. Yes, 2 point. So that'll leave a 1/4 inch plus a 1/10, right? So that should be enough sidewall. Might even be too much. We'll fiddle with it after that. But I want to hit that 2.10 to, you know, as practice, and then we'll figure out what's next. We might cut it off at that point and then just work with this piece here, and bore the center and so forth. Okay, something like that. Let's do that. Headed for 2.1. Surface finish is way better, but I was taking huge cuts. The other thing about this machine is everything's in millimeters, and all my measurements are in inches, or bananas, as Curtis would say, right? So I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of conversion on that whole millimeter thing, because I can't really use the dials to advance the tool at anything I know. Need to make a list of things I gotta have for this lathe too, like a live center. This thing sure makes a mess. But the gears run quiet in this thing. It's not noisy or growly or doesn't sound cheap. Sounds good. But it's just very, very basic. Okay, I'm not going to back it out. I'm going to roll back so that I can have some sense of how far I'm advancing this thing. Almost a spring pass there. Throwing chips everywhere. Yeah. It's way better, but it's not way good. .24. Yeah, 2.24-ish. Okay, let me get this turned down a bit further. All right, I missed it by a little bit. I'm at 2.09 and finish not very good. So I don't know if I'm using the wrong cutter or not. Anyway, it doesn't totally matter. We're going to get there anyway. We're going to accomplish the goal. So my drawing says I need to be 1.67 inches for that fitter to go over it. Okay, 1.67. And I need to do that up for a half an inch. So thinking we'll advance this tool from the edge forward to half an inch. Not critical measurement or anything, but should just set this for half an inch. Close enough. Okay, that's slightly over half an inch. So I'm gonna leave a mark right here, and we're gonna take that down to 1.67 or slightly smaller. That's the inside diameter of that fitter. Suppose I should keep track of where I'm at. .08. Got a long way to go. See how close we are. Headed for 1.67. We're at 183. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Well, guys, I've had a few dramas with this. I'm not that good at it. and I need to learn some patience. Anyway, as you can see, I've parted that thing off of that big bulk chunk because it's left the lathe a couple of times actually. And I missed this by quite a bit. It's going to work fine, but it's a little small. I wish it was tighter. My bad. Anyway, now we're going to start boring this thing because we got to get that inside hole done. Not sure what I'll do with this outside dimension just yet again, but we got to get the inside bored out. 1.75 inches is what we're headed for. So we got to get a hole big enough to get a boring bar in it and kind of go from there. So that 1.75 inches will be the big part of that. And yeah, so I've got a drill bit in the chuck, so let's get that in the lathe. Okay. Yeah, it's not been great. I've got to learn patience. I got to slow down, measure after every cut, kind of thing, until I get the hang of this, or forever, whichever comes first. Okay. Should we do this without a pilot hole? Probably. Let's try it. Let me see what the biggest drill bit I have is. Come on. It's going the wrong way. All right. Hang on. This is a 4564, so I had to cut the tape on it. It's brand new. I have no idea where I got it or why I have it. It's a very odd size. It should cut like butter. Taper spinning there. these things are not supposed to have no oil on them. I mean, they're kind of factory oiled, and this thing's like brand new, so I don't know. It's a long way through. Keep going, buddy. There's that. So now I gotta find in my new kit full of stuff my boring bar stuff. All right, let's do that. Sure making a mess. All right, I have the boring bar set up. I've been boring this out a little bit. We're at about 0.96. We're headed to, overall we're headed to 1.75, but I'm only doing this first half. We got to do that 1.75 on this other end. So this one is to size, and the internal dimension doesn't really matter. I just don't want it too thick or too thin. Needs to pass a wick down the center. So we're going to keep going on this till it's a little bit thin, then we're going to flip it over and go. Here we go. like this thickness here. I think we'll just do a finish cut after this one. Call this side good. So just a finished cut now. Okay, I think we can pull it out of here. Almost lost it. Show you the finishing side. Not horrible. Okay, so now we got to work on this other side. I'll get this thing started and bring you back here in a little bit. Okay, I'm at 1.60, headed for 1.75. This is where I need to slow the heck down and take really light passes here. And measure every time. And zero out my calipers here, because that caught me way off once. Caused me problems. $1.649. See what we're getting here, these little bitty cuts. Uh-oh, I dropped my ring. That's not good. It's expensive. 1, 1.670. And I gotta pick up my fitter ring here. Okay, here we go. Sneaking up on it so we don't goof it up. Okay, still zeroed. $1.675. That's what we were looking for. Wonder if it fits. Whew. That's close though. I didn't mean to get that close. But it's on the money. Let's take it out. Go check it on the lamp. Oh wow, I got paper thin divider there I need to cut out, but okay. Hey, pretty good finish on these cheapo. I bought these little cutters when I first got this machine and I knew they were wrong. Well, I know they're wrong now. I didn't know they were wrong then, but let's go check this out. All right. Didn't pre-fit it. It is what it is. Does it fit? Nope, it's got to come out a little more. Okay. That's fine. It's not too big. Let me go take one more cut on that. Okay. I've machined that little lip out of the inside. Well, some of it. I still got a little lip to get out of there. See how it fits? Almost. I got a little more to go. Alright. It'd fit if I pushed on it, but we don't want to do that. I want it to fit a little looser than that. So this is what we got. I got some finishing to do on it. But it's gonna do it. What do we need it? And that'll hold the burner right there. Again, I wish that was a little tighter. It's not, but it'll be fine. I'll put some finishing touches on it and I'll show you the finished product tomorrow. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, it is all done and it's going to work out just fine. So there's the, I'll give you a close-up of this thing. I had put the parting tool back in and purposely made some grooves, just, you know, paralleling grooves on it. I thought it'd look good. I've seen lamps with similar designs. Anyway, I cut that centerpiece out of there so the wick can roll through there. I'm going to put this on with adhesive silicone. Okay. This glass is not perfectly symmetrically round, and it's a little bit tapered, so we had to make some clearance so that would go all the way down, and then the brass thing. Let me grab the burner real quick. So here's the burner. We'll thread it on. Like so. All right. I know it raises it up a little bit, but you know what? I couldn't get a collar to fit that lamp. And this was a great opportunity for me to spend a little time learning my small lathe. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up on the way out. I answer comments to videos every single morning. So if you had any questions or comments about this video, any other video, or you just want to say hi, we'll see you in the morning in the comments. Other than that, have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.